How can test marketing be helpful in launching new products? Is that even possible? Is there a way to test what you want to sell before you actually sell it and make sure you're certain that it will sell? Absolutely, 100%, and shoutingly yes. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how I do that to make sure I'm launching things with confidence. Let's dive in. It took me 34 tries over 5 years to figure out how to launch stuff on the internet. That's a long time. Since then, though, we launched another 46 products, and all of them have worked. And so there's a very pinnacle thing that happened there on try 35, and there was a piece of understanding. I don't know why it took me that long to figure it out, but that's what I'm going to teach you here in this video now. Okay, so how do you test your pieces of marketing? How do you test the marketplace? How do you figure out if your thing's actually gonna go sell? So I'm gonna draw a few things here. I recommend that maybe you draw along as well. Here's the first thing. First thing is that in order to test marketing, you have to know who you're selling and where they are. Okay, now this is key because you might have a who in lots of wheres. Let me explain that. Okay, let's say that, well, for example, I have 3 just beautiful little girls, and sometimes I'll take them to the farmer's market, and I'll go and I'll wake up, put them in the truck, and we'll drive to the farmer's market. And that's actually the point. I take them to the market because I am not the market. The market is the market. In college, they used to say a lot of times, who's your target market? Who's your target market? That's not even a complete sentence. It makes no sense at all. People are not markets. Places are markets, okay? Markets are not people, they're places. So what I need to do first off is I need to make sure, hey, I know who I'm selling and I know where they are. Who am I selling and where are they? Because if I don't keep those two the same and I start trying to test marketing, I'm gonna get a lot of bad data, okay? So who's your dream person and where are they? So first off, here we go. Who's your dream person and, okay, X marks the spot. Where do they go to buy and sell? Because I'm gonna meet them there, and that's where I'm gonna test my marketing. Once I know who I sell and where they are, I'm gonna start asking some very key questions. Okay, now I have the person that I wanna sell, and I've got the location that they're in, and yes, this is true for virtual and on the internet as well. You have to know where they are online. Don't skip that just because you're on the internet. This is more important because you're on the internet, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start asking myself a very key question. What are the problems that they're having inside of that market? And I'm gonna start listing them. And I'm gonna collect a lot of them. And in fact, I have done this where I've had whole whiteboards filled with very small font on all the problems I'm seeing from my dream customer in that place. Okay, here's what I do next. Okay, now this first piece is very, very key here. I'm trying to condense in like a 3-day event that I usually do on this topic. Okay, but from a very massive macro view, this is what I'm doing. Who do I want to sell to? Where do they go? And what are the issues that they're solving? That leads us to step number 2. Okay, I want to start testing marketing. You know what's interesting about the way we market? Markets will tell you how they want you to sell to it. That's what's so cool about this. I'm so glad you typed this in YouTube. Thank you for being here. Excited to have you. Okay, check this out. The market will always tell you how it wants you to sell it. Check this out. Once I have started to figure out what problems are inside of a marketplace, all I start doing is I gotta figure out which of these I wanna start creating marketing pieces around. I'm gonna test the market in 2 key ways. All right, the first key way that I'm gonna go test the market, and this is number 2 here, okay? Okay, so 2 of 3 is what we're on right now, okay? So number 2, I'm gonna test with organic content. Can I get this location's attention? What am I coming up with that will get this dream customer's attention in that place? Can I get their attention when I put out this podcast episode and it's talking about that problem? Can I get their attention if I create a blog article and it's talking about this problem? See the pattern? The market is what's telling me what it wants me to create stuff around. That's what's so key. How do I know how to create the video that we are right now? Because you all type in, how can test marketing be helpful in launching new products? We're doing it right now. Okay, check this out. Okay. Oh, you know what? Can I get my marketplace's attention? Maybe I could create some YouTube stuff. And boom. Okay, and it's about that problem right there. So how do we know if it's working? Okay, we're testing our marketing. One of the first big product successes I ever had, that difference between 34 failures and then 46 successes. That spot right there, what was the difference? What happened was I started realizing this, and I created an entire podcast show dedicated to figuring out how to talk to the market. They didn't know that. They had no idea that's what I was actually doing. But here's what I actually did though. I created 50 podcast episodes about the different problems in that market. Guess what happened? Probably 45 of those episodes, garbage. But what I found was the 5 stories, the 5 topics, the 5 things that market just ate up. That's a lot of failures to go through. You understand? If I had gone and created a sales script and I had created marketing and I had created pieces of content and I hadn't found out what those 5 were, I hadn't found out which ones didn't work, this is test marketing. This is how I'm testing the marketplace. I'm testing to see which topics and problems this market will respond to when I talk about them. This helping? Now the real thing that I'm trying to figure out here is these 5, what are these? These are stories. So I'm learning what stories I need to tell to this marketplace in order to go get a reaction. A reaction. I'm not saying good reaction or bad reaction. A reaction. I just need to know what I can say to this market to cause a little bit of a wake, a little bit of a ripple in this market. So these are 5 stories. Now if you're trying to find test marketing, what is marketing's sole story? So that's what you're trying to figure out. If these are the problems going on in this marketplace and you're trying to find test marketing, what is it that you're trying to say? Hey, here's a story, and this story helps you overcome and solve that problem. And they're like, you know what? These 45 that you came up with, garbage. Hate them, don't like them. Well, I'm not going to go make a sales script for my product. I'm testing marketing. I'm not going to make a sales script anymore. I'm not going to go make around these 45. And I'll tell you that there's been multiple times I'm about to go launch a product. I'll go back and look at all the reactions I'm getting from a market and realize, oh my gosh, this part in the script here, it's wrong. It's wrong because I didn't get the reaction I wanted when I put out this organic podcast episode or organic YouTube. Or does that make sense? Organic has huge power in showing you exactly how that market wants to be marketed to. Before I teach you the final way I like to test a market, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so my giant, oversized, I know they're too big eyeballs have something spicy to look at. Leave a comment below guessing how large they are. I know they're big. Look at these things. Gigantic ojos. All right, guys, I want to show you what we do next with this. Check this out. Now that we've gone through, hey, here's my who, I know where they are and the problems they're experiencing, that tells me and guides me on the types of marketing I should go create. What do I do with it next, though? Now that I have these 5, what do I do with those? I'm not the one coming up with these concepts, by the way. This is just what professional marketers do. Now that we know what these are, very key piece we're doing. Number 3, paid ads. Imagine how much money I would have wasted if the market hadn't shown me what it reacts to. I would have wasted money on 45 ad creatives. So instead, what we do is we create these ads around those 5. And we'll brainstorm various ways to talk about those 5. And we'll turn those 5 into, I don't know, another 15 to 50 more ad creatives. So now we have 15 ads, right? Maybe it's 3 angles on each of these 5. So now we have 15. And we'll spend $5 per ad. Whichever one gets clicked the most, that's the one that we choose. So organic is a great way for us to farm out what people react to. We take those reactions and turn them into lots of different types of ads. And then whatever one gets clicked on the most, quite honestly, that's just the one that we choose to run with. If you've ever read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, that's literally how he chose the title for that book. He brainstormed tons of really cool ways his book could be titled, spent some money behind each one of them. The one that got clicked the most is how he actually titled the book, The 4-Hour Workweek. When in reality, that's just a book about outsourcing stuff. This is very, very powerful. What you have to understand is that this entire game is dependent on your ability to be a detective, a good listener. Contrary to what entrepreneurship was taught about in college, and contrary to the way mainstream entrepreneurship teaches it, you do not need to be some ridiculous, prolific genius to make money on the internet. You don't. Oh, come up with something brand new, something that no one's ever seen before. That's some risky crap. I don't do that. There's no way I'm going to risk my own. I don't take on VC funding or business loans, right? I just don't. How do we do it? We just test the market. That's why I publish so much content, because whatever you're reacting to, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around. Thanks for voting with your like. Thanks for voting, right? Does that make sense? You're being shown how the marketplace reacts to your stuff. And then that's what we go and lean into and create scripts around and paid ads around. And that's what we go put money behind. And when you realize that, this game gets a lot less risky. And the internet marketing game gets a lot less like esoteric and unmeasurable. I got a free gift here for you. If you go to launchforprofit.com, you're gonna learn more paid and organic strategies that you can use to launch your products. Okay, I've used, I think, every single one of them in that free PDF you'll download there. Many of them have helped me do even a 6-figure day multiple times. They're very powerful strategies. Some are mine, some are others, but they're for free. Go to launchforprofit.com and download them now.